Ian, can I just mention something briefly, because Kevin didn't have the chance to speak, but I think he may circulate an outline of what the impact may be on our emergency budget, but the figures that I have is that the cost to council, these are estimates obviously at this point, for each month we spend at level 3, the cost is about 15.4 million. For each month we spend at level 2, the cost is about 8.8 million. So they are not the dramatic costs that we faced with the level 4 lockdown, but they are nevertheless costs, and therefore, you know, the sooner we can emerge from those 2 levels, that is safely, the better off we will be. Okay, so the motion has been moved and seconded of
Chair,
receiving the report and thanking.
Chair, I had a question. Sorry.
Sorry, who's?
Chair, it's Daniel here.
Oh, Daniel. Daniel. Okay, I'll make yours the last one then.
Thank you. Your Worship, it's an operational matter, but and Councillor Collins has picked it up in terms of the sidebar. But I'd like to get some degree of feedback from for the bus drivers union or their employment representatives, please. Not that I'm trying to on their behalf or mediate any dispute on the matter, but I mean, I just have a real concern. I know that we've got people, they can enter and exit the buses away from the drivers, but the idea that we have a directive in relation to face coverings but no necessary means of enforcement means that I think that the drivers in those vehicles will be potentially put under a lot of pressure. That's a difficult situation for them to face. There is a health and safety issue, obviously, that's inherent to COVID-19, but the issue of enforcement, dispute, discussion, I think that is a matter that could really become difficult here. So, can we get some feedback? I know that we've had those are ongoing discussions, but I'd like to get a line of sight as to how that's going to play out and what the bus drivers' representatives' view of that matter is and how they're going to look to handle this. And if that information could be provided offline, I'll be grateful.
Thank you, Councillor. I do know that our concerns in that regard have been passed on directly to Minister Hipkins, and that Auckland Transport and the Ministry of Health and the unions representing the drivers are working together to try to find the best way to tackle it. As Ian said, it is really tough. There's not an easy answer to it, and there are complications. But nevertheless, I don't think any of us believe that there shouldn't be an effort to enforce the wearing of masks when we know 3 cases of COVID-19 have been transmitted in this form. And I think other passengers on the bus expect to be able to travel in a relatively safe environment, and anybody that is working against that is going to get a backlash from the passengers, but that does create its own problems. If we get any further information on that, maybe it would be coming through UN, maybe not just to Councillor Newman, but to passing that on to all of us as to the progress that's made in that area would be really helpful. Okay. Thank you. So I've got the motion before us. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
And to the contrary, carried. Thank you very much to the team that's working on that and for your report. We come now to item number 10, which is one of the big items that we have